Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. My name is Will Reese, and I'm the marketing rep with AFC Vacations. And we have a wonderful lineup of European river cruises that I'll go over today. Now, we charter all of our ships when it comes to the rivers of Europe. Usually they're around 110 to 140 passengers or so. Now, we also partner with a number of other cruise companies when it comes to ocean liners. We've been working with Holland America and Princess, as well as American Cruise Lines when it comes to the North American cruises. So a lot of variety in that sense, but today our focus is cruises in Europe and specifically on the many different rivers that we offer. Now, I will throw out something special that I added today, which is a couple of dates for 2027. I know there are some folks that are interested in booking out further and getting the first choice of their cabin type and so forth, so I wanted to include that for a couple of the spring departures on both the Normandy, Paris, and Seine, as well as the Holland Windmills and Tulips. So those are both included on dates. What we offer with AFC are worldwide tours and cruises, all different travel styles, whether it's our European river cruise charters, our land tours by motor coach, or our train tours through the national parks and overseas. We offer a good variety with over 80 destinations worldwide. And we also do one hotel stays in a number of cases where you get to unpack your suitcase and settle in and work your way around from there. So a lot of great options, some special events tours as well, and a number of different adventure tours. Now, what's included with AFC Vacations, first and foremost, is round-trip airfare. We show you the rates in the brochure from each of the major gateways. And if you do have friends or family members that want to join you from other parts of the country, we are happy to help them book their trip as well as their airfare. Even if it's not noted in the brochure with their gateway, we can still make that work and have them join you on the trip. So we welcome everybody. Our tour managers are outstanding. They work all over the world. They do a great job making sure you're safe and comfortable on the experience, as well having a great time. A big part of our foundation is creating fun environments on tour. And then we have a couple of different guarantees. One is our guaranteed departures. And that means once we reach about 20 travelers on a trip, we create it as a guaranteed operating tour. And so you'll see the symbol GD in the brochure and on the show. And that means that tour has enough passengers to operate. Now, all of our European river cruises are guaranteed, so you don't need to worry about that. We've committed to running those, so make sure you jump on board before it's too late. And on a number of these departures that I'll talk about today, there's only a handful of cabins remaining, so you don't want to wait too long because they will fill up. We also have guaranteed pricing, and what that means is once you put your deposit down on a trip, your price is locked in. So even as fuel prices change and we're hit with surcharges from our other vendors, that doesn't get passed on to you. So that's what you can expect with AFC. One of the biggest things that we offer is home pickup service. We pick you up at your door, take you to the airport, and bring you back at the end of the trip. And that's included within a 40-mile range of the airport from your house. Anything further than 40 miles would be a surcharge, but it's a really great feature that simplifies travel for everybody. Now, if you use Uber or Lyft or make your own way to and from the airport, let us know and we'll take $100 off your final payment. Now, what the company really stands for is real people and real service. And we've been operating since 1982, so a long stretch of 44 years in the travel industry, bringing tours to life in all parts of the world. We're also part of the USTOA, that's the United States Tour Operators Association, so a select member of about 50 tour operators nationwide covered under a $1 million assistance program for our travelers. We have a lot of different offers that we put out there for folks, especially when it comes to saving money, as AFC stands for Affordable First Class. First and foremost are risk-free deposits. So deposits are fully cash refundable up till 6 months prior to departure. And then between 6 months and 3 months out, we've created this policy which allows you to get a future travel credit for any cancellation fee, deposit, or travel insurance within that 3-month window prior to 3 months. Our Travelers Club is our loyalty program. And what that means is once you book a trip with us and take a second within 18 months, that second tour is $100 off. And that applies for every tour thereafter. So $100 off for every trip you take with us. Our Refer a Friend credit is really about telling your friends and family members how great a time you had with AFC. And if they do travel with us and use your name, we will also take $100 off your booking the next time you travel. Finally, our early booking savings applies to more travelers these days. So within the first 20 travelers to book on a tour, you can save up to $100 off on domestic or international trips and up to $75 off for the 21st through 40th traveler. On our European river cruises, we actually double that, and it's up to $200 off per person based on booking early and paying your final payment by check. There are so many great benefits of traveling on these European rivers and these cruises. We have a couple of different cruise line partners that we utilize, and again, we charter the entire ship. So it's all of our team, all of our passengers, as well 3 tour managers for most of these cruises to help you settle in and get your questions answered in the process. But these trips range again anywhere from about 110 to 150 or so travelers, between 53 and 80 cabins, depending on the ship. And it really does combine the intimacy and sightseeing of a motor coach tour with the convenience and dining of an ocean cruise. So all of the meals are included on board. It's an unpack once experience where we're sailing for 7 nights on most of our departures and 6 nights on our holiday sailings. And we include some great sightseeing. I mentioned those holiday tours, and those are the ones that are hitting those Christmas markets of Europe. I'll talk more about those in just a bit. But even on our Normandy, Paris, and the Seine River, just a really great in-depth look at different excursions, different sites that we include. On board the ships, they have nightly entertainment. We have musicians that play every single night in the lounge. We also do some fun games like trivia with our cruise director. And then each and every day we do a port talk about the next day's activities so you know what to expect, whether it's from the weather standpoint, walking, or any other aspect of the day's activity. And we do provide those 2 to 3 tour directors on board the ship, and they are there to help with the logistics of the program, help to manage each of the motor coaches that go out from the ships on tours, and really there to provide an extra level of service. And these are English-only charters in terms of the language, so you don't have to wait and listen to 6 different languages being explained the same thing. And our Wi-Fi is also included on these cruises. So it's a really nice feature to have Wi-Fi on board included and able to stay connected with friends and family members back home. On our cruises as well, we have hand-selected wine, draft beer, and soft drinks included at dinner. And then there's a great lounge with beer as well as wine and cocktails up in the lounge for each of these cruises. And we do have some added benefits on our Douro program as well that I'll go into. Getting into the dining on board, there are so many great features that they offer. All of our meals are included, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There is usually an early riser breakfast available in the lounge, and that is a nice buffet spread of small bites, coffee, and some other pastries. And then our main dining room in the Panorama restaurant is a breakfast buffet, and that gives you so many great hot dishes as well as those pastries, yogurts, cereals, and everything in between. Our lunches are varied. Generally, we focus on buffet lunches. That way you get on board the ship for lunch. You're not wasting your time waiting for a plated meal. You get a chance to rest and recoup before going out for the afternoon's activities. And then on board the ship in the afternoon, most days, we do afternoon snacks, and those can range from pastry sandwiches to all different types. So it's a really nice little added benefit, and it's really hard to go hungry on these cruises. Our dinners consist of 4-course menus with choice of entree, as well choice of appetizer and dessert, and it really provides a good range of variety of choices. And I mentioned those hand-selected wines, draft beer, and soft drinks, which are included with all of our dinners. Getting into the first departure for our river cruises of this year is our Normandy, Paris, and the Seine River cruise. And that goes out April 7th. There are actually only 10 cabins remaining on that departure. So this is kind of the last call, going over that April 7th date to get the last few bookings in. So don't wait, because those will fill up. We have groups promoting this all over the country. So please, if you're interested in doing this April 7th date, and it's a fantastic time to visit Europe as well as France specifically. They always talk about Paris in the springtime. And how this program works is we fly into Paris, we board the Amadeus Diamond, and that is a 7-night cruise. We'll go out to the town of Vauvert-sur-Oise, where Vincent van Gogh lived his final days, and get a chance to see the little cafe, the Auberge Revue, where he lived. He lived above the cafe and restaurant in a little apartment. And we'll also see his gravesite, where he and his brother are buried. You'll see the cathedral, the main church in town, where he painted one of his last pieces of art. So it's a really great in-depth look at his life and works. Then it's off to the city of Rouen, and this is a great location with its beautiful half-timbered buildings, restaurants, houses. It's amazing cathedral in the city center, as well as the astronomical clock right there in the heart of the city. And we generally board and dock right in the heart of the city as well, right on the river. So it's easy on and off the ship. We have a walking tour that morning, and then the afternoons at leisure. So you can come and go. You can explore the town, as well go shopping, because there's some really great shops all throughout that area. Then it's off to the coastline. We'll work our way up the Seine River out to the Norman coast. And this is one of the most beautiful spots that we get to visit in the town of Etretat. It's a small beach town. You can walk out on the beach, and on either side of the beach are these amazing cliffs with archways that go out over the Atlantic Ocean. So beautiful landscape, stunning scenery. On the left side is a golf course that you can walk up to, and on the right side is this beautiful little white chapel. So I always recommend people going up and exploring that. We do an optional tour to that town of Honfleur, and this is the little harbor on the coast of France. Beautiful setting with great little shops and restaurants, and we try to time this up to the farmers market on Saturdays where possible. And so that provides some folks the opportunity to explore some local produce, local goods, whether it's cheeses, meats, as well some of the great ciders that they produce in the Normandy region. And we also incorporate a walking tour with a local guide as we explore this area. Really a big highlight for folks is going out for a full day tour of the D-Day beaches and Normandy battle campaign of World War II. And we start the day with a visit to Pont du Hoc, and that's where the Army Rangers scale 100-foot cliffs to destroy the German batteries. We'll visit Omaha Beach, one of 2 main beachheads that the Americans landed at, and also work our way over to the American Cemetery. And that's where over 9,000 servicemen are buried today. It's a really impactful visit, and a highlight for a lot of folks is getting out to these sites, and something that a lot of people wait their whole lives to do. As we work our way back down the river, we'll stop in the area of Les Andelys and work our way over to Gavarnie, where Monet's house and gardens is located. Now, this is an image of his house, the beautiful tulips out in front, and a number of different species of plants and flowers, and also the gardens. The gardens are tremendous with their Japanese maples, amazing bamboo gardens, and these great little ponds with the bridges. Just absolutely inspiring. And you can see the inspiration he took from this area as he made his works of art. We wrap up with a city tour of Paris in the morning. As we arrive back into the city, we'll do a full city tour that takes us over to the Eiffel Tower for some photos. Get to see Notre Dame, and thankful that that's back open after some years of repair. We'll see the Louvre and the Arc de Triomphe and many other sites as we work our way through the city. And then that afternoon is at leisure. So you can explore on your own. You can go up the Eiffel Tower if you get tickets ahead. Or you can join our optional tour to Montmartre. And that's an incredible basilica up on the hillside overlooking the city. We also offer an extension on this tour out to London by high-speed train. And that's a 2-night extension. Stays 2 nights in the city of London. And we incorporate a city tour and a pub dinner, as well as some great leisure time to explore the city. So again, our departures on this one are April 7th and October 6th. We also have 2027 dates available in April and October as well. Our Holland Windmills, Waterways, and Tulips cruise is almost sold out. There's only 5 spaces left on the April 13th departure and 4 spaces left on the April 20th. So limited cabin availability on both departures. And again, we do have April 15th and April 22nd of 2027 that we just released. So if you want to get a head start and start booking for next year, this is a great way to do it. Really gives you the full opportunity to select your cabin preference and cabin type. This is a wonderful cruise. Really great sightseeing on this, and we'll start and end in Amsterdam. We'll work our way from Amsterdam out through that area. We spend the first night in Amsterdam as we arrive, and then what we'll do is we'll work our way from there out and around the different canals and waterways of both the Netherlands and Belgium. So we'll do a city tour and canal cruise in Amsterdam. We have 7 nights on the beautiful Amadeus Amara. And this is a newer ship. I believe it was put out in 2024, but very modern, very classy, and very functional in its cabin spacing. So we'll start out in Amsterdam, getting a chance to see that beautiful city and work our way through town. As we board the ship, we'll then head to some smaller towns within the Netherlands, and one of those is the town of Arnhem. This is a big battle site of World War II, as that bridge crossed over one of the main rivers and main connections. So that bridge was fought over by the Germans and the Allies. It's a really amazing city. And we also work our way over to the World War II Museum there, focused on the airborne. We then head off to Middelburg, and this has some incredible architecture to it, some really Gothic styles to its city hall and its other buildings throughout town. Really gorgeous waterways as well. And then Ghent. Ghent is an optional tour that we do, and it's famous for the Ghent Altarpiece, but it's a lovely city in Belgium. It's a great opportunity to explore one of the smaller towns around the area. And the Ghent Altarpiece at the center of the cathedral there dates to 1432. So it's a really big treasure of Northern Renaissance art and took nearly 10 years to complete, valued at an estimated $35 million, but it's a segment of 13 panels, and it was stolen over 12 times, including by the Nazis in World War II. We then work our way over to one of my favorite towns on this tour, one of the great cities of Europe, known as the Venice of the North, and that is Bruges. And this is also built on canals and waterways, which is why it got that nickname of Venice of the North. We'll do a walking tour with the local guide. We'll get to explore the main square and the city hall building, as well as some free time in town. And there are so many great specialties in Belgium, whether it's Belgian chocolates, Belgian waffles, French fries. They're all available right there in the city center. So great spot to visit. Also, the beer museum is a highlight and some really fun stops along the way. We then work our way over to the city of Antwerp. And Antwerp is a coastal town, a great harbor city, and well known for its diamond trade. We'll get a chance to explore the city and the church as part of our city tour, and then work our way out to the outskirts outside of Amsterdam for a visit to Keukenhof Gardens. And this is a really great wrap-up to the cruise experience as a whole. Some 12 million tulip bulbs are planted every year, and it's amazing to see them as they blossom in each of the landscape varietals that they set up. They have a petting zoo there. They have a great gift shop with all sorts of different bulbs that you can bring home, and a really great visit all in all. But this is a great wrap-up to the cruise experience. We spent about half a day there getting a chance to explore the gardens, and they just wind around and continue on and on. So if you're big into gardening, it's especially wonderful as we plan this trip around April to hit them at their peak. One of our other great cruises that goes out in the fall of this year is our Wonders of the Blue Danube. And this one is great in terms of its stops. It really incorporates a lot of the highlights along the Danube River, some of the great cities. And how this program works is we'll start in Budapest on the October 10th departure. We'll work our way up the river towards Germany on that one. And then we also offer it in the opposite direction on October 17th. So that one goes from Munich down into Budapest. But on this program, it's on board the Amadeus Nova. So we'll fly in and board the ship, which was launched in 2024. I was just on it a couple of weeks ago in December and absolutely loved that ship. The tour itself, the cruise, is 9 days, 20 meals, incorporating the airfare. And once we arrive, we'll get a city tour in Budapest. We then work our way out from there. This is the amazing Amadeus Nova. It was launched again in spring of 2024. I was able to be there with Matt Kennel to see it take off on its first journey. Great, comfortable cabins. Again, categories E and D are the lowest deck, and those are fixed picture windows. Then C, B, and A are generally sliding doors with a railing, and that allows some great fresh air and opens up the cabin quite a bit. And then the suites are also fantastic, and there's about 8 suites on each of these ships. This is the lounge. This is the panorama bar in the back. It's a great space, part of the Amadeus Club, and some wonderful seating, really comfortable area if you want to go back and read a book or just take a breather and have a quieter space to explore in. The top deck has a lot of great features, including shuffleboard and a mini golf course, and then also just really comfortable seating up top. So when it's nice out, you can go out and enjoy that with a glass of wine. They do have a little infinity pool as well. And getting a chance to explore Budapest, this has become one of my favorite cities in all of Europe. It has its beautiful parliament building that you're seeing here, as well the amazing castle that sits up on the other side of town on the Buda side. So Buda on the west and Pest on the east. The river splits the two, and some great, beautiful bridges that cross over. But we'll also go up to the castle itself. We'll get to tour there. We then head off to Bratislava. And Bratislava is a great old town area, but especially the castle. And the castle sits up on the hill overlooking town. It's a very modern town and city in many aspects, but really the old town is one of the biggest highlights from my perspective. And walking through there with all the great restaurants and shops, it's a fun stop that we get to make. We work our way over to Vienna, and Vienna is a world-class city known for its classical music and its incredible cathedral that's pictured on the left there with its really unique roof tiling. But we'll explore there with our local guide. We'll have a city tour of Vienna, and then over to Melk Abbey. And this incredible location and its beautiful library is a really once-in-a-lifetime kind of experience to go through. And we'll have guides that take us through the entire abbey, learn about the history and the school, and get to see that stunning library room. We offer a 2-night extension to Prague on this, and we go from Regensburg out to Prague by motor coach. We stay 2 nights in the city of Prague and also incorporate a lunch with Pilsner beer. And then we do a city tour in Prague, which features the Prague Castle, the Charles Bridge, which is one of the most famous bridges in all of the world, and St. Vitus Cathedral. We'll also incorporate a dinner show, and that is a folklore show of the Czech culture. So really great extension to get a chance to see this amazing city. And there's so many great sites incorporated with that, including the main public square right in the heart of the city. That leads to the Jewish Quarter and a number of other fantastic neighborhoods. Our highlights of the Douro goes twice this year, November 2nd and November 9th. Now, there are only 5 cabins remaining on the November 2nd departure, so please don't wait because those will sell out probably in the next week. But what we'll do is we'll fly into Porto, and then we work our way up the Douro River. And this is one of the most scenic rivers in all of Europe when it comes to the landscape and the actual views as we cruise. It is a great program when it comes to a mix of vacation and activity. So generally there's a morning excursion and the afternoon spent cruising. So it really does give you a chance to relax and take in all the surroundings. But again, we'll fly round trip into Porto. We also offer a 2-night extension to Lisbon beforehand. So if you wanted to come in early, spend some time in Lisbon and on the coast, we have that available too. But this is on the new Riviera Rose, and that ship was put out in 2025 as part of their new fleet. And what we'll do is, as we cruise this river, I'll talk about the pre-tour first, our visit to Lisbon, and 2 nights in the city center there. We'll do a city tour, and then we also work our way out to Fatima and Nazaré. Nazaré is famous for world-class waves, anywhere up to 80 feet high from the ocean. And so this is a surfer's paradise. Really amazing to see this coastline. We'll also visit Fatima, and this is a pilgrimage site where people come from all over the world to see these areas, and this church specifically. So really wonderful stop on our way to board the ship. We board in Porto, and this gives you an idea of the suites. So really spacious staterooms, really comfortable seating. Again, that's the highest level of cabin category is the suites. And then you have A, B, and C. And then D and E are generally fixed picture windows on the lowest level. This is just some of the beautiful scenery that we get to enjoy as we cruise. The amazing terraces of the Douro Valley with all the beautiful wines that they're producing, both reds and whites, and port wines as well, which is those amazing dessert wines. On this program as well, we have a couple of unique features. We visit what are called quintas, and these are winery estates, kind of bed and breakfast type establishments, but they're a really great location, and we get a couple of great meals at these. One will be a dinner, where we go out for the evening and get to enjoy that with a wine tasting, and another will be a lunch. As we cruise down the river, we get to see all the different vineyards as we go. And here are just a couple of the highlights on this program. City tour of Porto, and we'll get to see the Stock Exchange building, which dates from the late 1700s. Really amazing architecture and styles within each of the rooms there. We'll visit the town of Lamego, and it's beautiful tiles, blue and white tiles that line the stairs leading up to the cathedral. And then Castle Rodrigo, which is a 12th century castle built up on the hillside. Some of the castle ruins still remain, and some of the fortifications on the outside. The city of Salamanca, Spain as well. And as we tour Salamanca, we'll get to see the Plaza Mayor. That's the main square in the city. The university, which dates back to about 1218, one of the oldest universities in all of the world. And then the beautiful Salamanca Cathedral as we tour. I mentioned that quinta visit. Again, one for dinner and one for a lunch, and that'll incorporate some wine tasting along with the great meal. And again, this one heads out in November of this year, November 2nd, with 5 cabins remaining, and November 9th. And that has some extra space. So if you're looking for specifics, both of those departures are available. Our Switzerland and Christmas Markets of the Rhine has only 3 cabins remaining. And this one will go out and sell out most likely by the end of the week, if not tomorrow, then early next week. And how this program works is we'll fly into Zurich. We then spend a night in Lucerne, getting a chance to see the beautiful lake and the mountains in the backdrop. We'll do a walking tour with the Chapel Bridge, and that's a historic bridge that crosses over to Old Town from the more modern side of the city. And then the afternoon, before we head to the ship on the following day, is at leisure. So we'll have some time at the Christmas market, some time to gather your things as we make our way up to Strasbourg. Now, Strasbourg sits on the border of France and Germany. Really great location and a great city with a lot to offer. Again, you get both cultures in French and German in its design. So half-timbered homes, as well as some of the German aspects with the cathedral. It's beautiful Gothic cathedral. And time at the Christmas market in Strasbourg. We generally offer an optional trip out to the Alsace wine region and getting a chance to taste some Glühwein for the holidays. Then we head up to Speyer, and this is a beautiful city with a reddish cathedral, kind of a smaller town from the rest of the stops. And Speyer has become one of my favorites, just for a place that you're not expecting to like, but find out how great it is. We'll see the Christmas markets in Speyer, and then it's up to Rudesheim. And Rudesheim is a great town, a very small town with these beautiful alleyways with shops and restaurants to them. We'll do an optional tour to the music museum, and then the time in Rudesheim otherwise is at leisure. So you can spend as much time as you want at the Christmas market there. You can explore town or just enjoy your time on board the ship. And then it's up to Koblenz, and Koblenz is at the base of the two separate rivers. You have the Rhine River and then the Moselle. So it splits off into two. In Koblenz, it's one of the early settlements of the Romans. So really great depth of history to it. We'll do a walking tour in the afternoon and get to see the Christmas market there at night. And that's a lovely experience getting to see it all lit up. We then head down the Moselle River to Kokum and get to see that great town. And as we travel, you'll see vineyards on either side of the river. One other aspect to this is the highlight of being on the Rhine River and seeing the beautiful castles from the Rhine. So we'll see those from about Rudesheim to Koblenz. And then in Kokum, we'll also get a chance to see the beautiful castle in the town of Kokum, right up on the hillside. We do a wine tasting in the town of Kokum at a little cellar across from where we dock, and it really brings that area to life. We finish this cruise in Cologne, get a great city tour, and experience the beautiful Cologne Cathedral, its old town, and the incredible Christmas markets, both by the cathedral and in Old Town, before we fly out of Frankfurt. This one goes out November 30th, and only 3 cabins remaining. A program with some more space is our Vienna and Christmas Markets of the Danube, and I just did this cruise last month. Absolutely love this pattern. As we fly into Vienna, we're actually doing this a little bit different for 2026. We'll start out in Vienna and work our way to the west. So really amazing opportunity to travel on this, where we spend one night in a hotel in Vienna. We do a Vienna city tour, and then also incorporate Bratislava on this cruise. So the amazing city of Bratislava, and especially during the holidays, you can see the castle from up above on the hill to the right, but a big main square in the city center where they have all the booths for the Christmas markets, getting your glühwein or your pretzels, any of the great specialties. And then we're on the MS Imperial for this departure. Really great experience on board this ship as it was launched in 2024. We'll do a morning tour of Vienna. We'll get a chance to see the city. Some of the main highlights are the Opera House as we explore. And then we'll work our way up the river to Melk. And this is a great chance to see the Melk Abbey as well, especially during the holidays. And what we generally do is a little wine tasting or glühwein tasting right at the base of the Abbey by where we dock. We'll cruise that afternoon to Passau. And en route, we also offer a Salzburg optional tour. And this is a full day trip. It takes about 2.5 hours each way to get to and from the ship. And there we'll get to see the beautiful Dom Cathedral as well as the Mirabel Gardens. So those are highlight stops. And if you've seen the movie Sound of Music, you'll notice Mirabel Gardens. It's a very familiar site where some of that film took place. Some great highlights to the Salzburg day. We'll have a local guide that takes us through town, walks us through the city, and shows us some of the great sites throughout that area. And then we also have a plenty amount of time to grab some lunch and then enjoy the Salzburg Christmas markets. And these are fantastic. There's a skating rink in the center of town, some really great cafes here as well. So a highlight on the tour. We work our way to Regensburg, and Regensburg is famous for its Old Town, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. There are several different spots around Regensburg with Christmas markets, and the main one has all sorts of great features, including all sorts of sausages and pretzels and everything else you're looking for in that time. But it's a really in-depth city tour and a great spot to experience. We also have a really great farewell dinner on board the cruise. And this is usually a 5 or 6 course dinner rather than the normal 4 course. So it's hard to go hungry on this one. On board the ship, we'll have those great experiences of meals. And then they generally do a fantastic baked Alaska for our farewell. We cruise the Continental Divide on this one as well, and then work our way over to Nuremberg. And there we'll do a city tour. you'll get a chance to see the amazing Nuremberg trials where that took place, as well going to the Christmas market, which is a huge highlight as one of the biggest Christmas markets in all of Europe. And you'll get a chance to see some of the half-timbered homes and buildings all throughout this city, and finishing up at the Christmas market there. But again, this one goes out December 10th of this year, and there is still space in each of the cabin categories. A brand new program that we're introducing is our Prague, Budapest, and Danube Christmas Market. And this is a really wonderful program in that it highlights some of the areas that we don't hit on our other Christmas markets cruises. We work our way for 2 nights in Prague, and we start out in Prague where we get to stay in the city center. This portion is by motor coach, so we'll get a chance to tour the area. We do a walking tour in the city of Prague, starting up usually at the castle, working our way through the Golden Mile, which is a beautiful stretch of historic homes and kind of museums. And then we work our way from Prague out towards Brno, and that is another great city in the Czech Republic. From there, we'll incorporate Christmas markets both in Prague and Brno, and that's a stop en route to Budapest. And so we will board the ship in Budapest, and we have 5 nights on board the Riviera Radiance. This is a great ship, really comfortable. Again, very new in terms of its design. On board this cruise as well, we have a superior drinks package during lunch, so that's a great feature. We'll work our way from Budapest. We'll do a city tour, and I was just there for the holidays right before that Danube cruise that I just did, and I absolutely love Budapest in the wintertime. It's a great opportunity to see the different markets, both up by the castle as well as down in the main square. And from there, one of the best experiences I've ever had traveling into Europe was avoiding jet lag by going to the sauna. So I did hot and cold plunge, and I slept like a baby. So that's my new piece of advice, is getting through jet lag by going to the sauna. From Budapest, we'll work our way out to Bratislava. We'll get to do a walking tour featuring the Old Town and also the Christmas market in the city center there. And then from Bratislava over to Vienna. And this is a bit shorter of a cruise, 5 nights on board the ship. So it's nice and easy. You get comfortable, get settled, and explore some great cities along the way. And we wrap up in Vienna. And that's where we'll do a city tour and the Christmas markets on this program as well. On board the ship, we also incorporate a string quartet, as the Vienna area is famous for its classical music. This one goes out December 4th, and this gives you an image of some of the great market space within the city of Prague. Especially during the winter months, it's a great time to go and experience that city. Some of the specialties, both of the Budapest area as well as a little bit into Prague, chimney cakes, and those are pictured on the left-hand side. It's kind of a different version of a churro in many ways, but they usually stuff it with different creams and chocolates, so that's always fun. And then on the right side, langos. Those are kind of like mini pizzas to some extent, so those are some specialty items there. And then all throughout the city of Budapest, they have light displays and great ornaments and design all around the city for the holidays specifically. Also, as you're working your way through, in one of the main squares, they have this long strip of restaurants as part of the actual Christmas market, so you can get all those specialties, including goulash, which is that famous soup. It's kind of a beef stew from Hungary. This is the Riviera Radiance, again, a recently designed and produced ship. Very comfortable, great top deck. That's the sun deck with an infinity pool. Great seating out there as well, and a really fun time to explore as we're cruising along to get to see the surrounding areas. The main dining room is especially wonderful on this ship, and there are actually 3 restaurants on board the ship as a whole. Great lounge space, wonderful bar area, and this gives you a look at the double cabins. So if you're sharing a cabin on one of the main decks, you have a sliding door with the railing there. They split the beds apart if you're sharing a room with, say, 2 single travelers, or bring the beds together and wrap them up or sheet them if you're sharing the bed. So you can get it split or together. Also, very wonderful suites on board this ship. And then they do have a massage studio. So if you wanted to get a massage and really enjoy your vacation, that's a great way to do it. They have those available on board as well. As we conclude the show, I wanted to mention that if you do book a new 2026 tour or European river cruise by next Friday, February 6th, we're reducing the deposit. Generally for these European river cruises, it's $600 to hold your space, but we will bring that down to $250 with travel protection. So book your travel insurance along with your deposit, and you get that reduced deposit down to $250 to hold your space. Also, on these 2026 European river cruises, if you book at this time by next Friday and use the code Cruise Europe, you can get the one cabin category upgrade. How that works is you book the lower category and you're automatically upgraded to the category above it. So usually I recommend people booking category D on the lowest deck and getting upgraded to category C, or going from B to A, from middle to the upper deck. Better spacing in the cabins, better locations on the ship, as well just a really great savings, anywhere from $200 to $400 per person as a discount by doing it this way. So use the code Cruise Europe by next Friday for these to apply. And how you can book, you can call our 1-800-369-3693 phone number. Speak with Joe, Holly, April, or Samantha, and their emails are listed here below. And you can also visit our website, afcvacations.com, and we have forms there as well. All of our tours and cruises are on our website. We also produce our brochure every other month, so look out for that. That comes around with new updates, new dates, new tours, and a lot of great features in that. As I wrap up, just want to thank you all so much for attending today. Thanks for logging into the show. If you do have any questions, feedback about the show, or new show ideas and destination recommendations, let April know, April at afctours.com, and she'd be happy to take back that feedback. Thank you all so much, and we look forward to the next travel opportunity. Have a great rest of your day.